also, I'm going to hit you with a little Hungarian surprise in the beginning.
Hungarian surprise? What?
Yep. Hi everyone, welcome to the Sea Brigade.
Hello.
Min denki a fede ezeche, which should translate to all aboard in Hungarian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
we'll let the Hungarians let us know how that sounded.
Know how we did? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're here talking about Season 2, Episode 4 of Fargo. The episode's called Fear and Trembling. And by this time tonight, it should have aired like a week ago, but
yeah,
we have busy schedules. But we did have some listener questions to get to.
Ooh.
And I want to give the people who, give us emails and stuff like that special treatment. So these come from Madison Badger. And since it's Fargo, I do wonder if it's like Madison, Wisconsin, but who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the University of Wisconsin are the Badgers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fierce rivals of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh, no. So what they have sent us are two questions. The first being, why did the judge go to the Waffle Hut in Laverne, which is, by their estimate, an over 3-hour drive from Fargo?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is something that I feel like it's not out of the question that in this world she would just be going that far because these waffles are really good or something like that. But also, I could totally see it being like a mid-season twist that the judge was up to no good. Well, not up to no good. That she had something to do south of Fargo.
Well, how did Rye find her at the Waffle Hut to begin with?
He just tracked her. He stalked her all the way to Laverne.
Right. Okay. Because I'd forgotten that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Madison Badger, that's a good point.
Good question. Where is she going? Is she going 3 hours out of her way to this specific Waffle Hut, or was she, she got business elsewhere? And then, related question, was the get well soon balloon that Molly found the UFO that Rye saw? And so this person asked the question before episode 4 aired, which is interesting because now I'm not so sure that because before it seemed to make a lot of sense. Like, this aluminum balloon in the trees.
Right.
Rye was high on crack, and he just hallucinated. But now, with what happened to Hansi this episode, much harder to just brush off the idea that, it's harder to brush off. Like, I think the get well soon balloon could have been in the tree, but it's also there because of what it means to Betsy, I think.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it's there for metaphorical reasons, I guess,
Yeah, and I also... was it last episode or was it the one before that? I think it's the one before this one, where Lou, pulls over to, the gas station and, some guy's talking to him about UFOs and stuff. I feel like other people have, seen it.
I believe that was episode 3's...
I think so, yeah. Because that's when he was coming back from Fargo.
Mm-hmm. Yes, every episode, especially this one, has a dose of aliens, and I'm really interested in seeing what that means. But I guess before we go into this episode, I'll pitch this question to you. if we get to the end of the season and none of the alien stuff is explained, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
A part of me likes the idea that none of it's explained and it's all kind of left up to the viewer to decide, has everyone in the 70s just kind of lost their minds and tricked themselves into, thinking that things are aliens?
Yeah, well, I think that, I remember the discussions about True Detective Season 1 where, people were finding a lot of, cult significance in lots of different parts of the show that ended up not having... people were really convinced that, Marty's daughters had been, abused by the cult and whatever, because, the daughter was doing, all these weird drawings and stuff, and, spirals were, everywhere, and it turned out to not play any sort of role into the show whatsoever. And so some people were really upset about that, but, I don't know, I feel like it kind of just shows that these things just show up subliminally in your culture, and they kind of become ingrained in you even though you don't realize it.
Mm-hmm. I think there's definitely a worth to that, and it kind of less is more kind of fashion, where it's putting these things in there, it doesn't need to lead to a plot point, it just needs to do something for the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And the alien stuff very much is doing something to the atmosphere here.
Right. Well, I think it kind of also goes into what Lou says at the very end of this episode, where because this is the episode, right, where he's sitting on the porch with the shot. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Just making sure, because they're getting jumbled together now. Mm-hmm. And he starts telling Betsy about how things used to be better and they used to be just good and evil. And, he feels that society's been kind of corrupted. Mm-hmm. And whether it has or not is, debatable, definitely. But he certainly seems to be one of those people who's like, ugh, the good old days.
Yeah. Man, I would dive into that question, but that's a topic for a philosophy podcast, maybe. Right?
Well, I also thought it was just interesting. I don't know if you want to talk about it at the end or whatever, but I saw a lot of connections to No Country for Old Men in this episode, which you haven't seen. But even just thinking of because we'll get to it basically when.
I know this isn't fair, but I wonder if they came out around the same time. But I always got No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood kind of mixed up. I know they're completely different movies about completely different things.
They came out the same year, yeah.
And they kind of had a sepia tone going on, we're in Texas or the desert or something.
Yeah, exactly. There are kind of some really uncanny similarities between the two. Completely separate films, but No Country for Old Men is the one with Josh Brolin and
isn't that the director who only goes by his initials? No.
What?
Oh, never mind. I thought it might have been Paul Thomas Anderson.
No, that's There Will Be Blood.
Oh.
No Country for Old Men is the Coen Brothers movie.
Okay. All right.
It's based off of a Cormac McCarthy novel. But there's the scene where Lou talks to Peggy and Ted really reminded me of a scene from No Country for Old Men, but also just the overall theme of No Country for Old Men. The title No Country for Old Men comes from a William Butler Yeats poem, Sailing to Byzantium. And the whole idea of the poem is, the first line of the poem is, "That is no country for old men." And it talks about how the speaker of the poem no longer identifies with what he's seeing around him. And that just reminded me a lot of Lou at the end of the show.
I think sometimes in the past we had debated what kind of stuff we were going to bring to the table for a Fargo podcast, but you got some good book smarts going on.
Oh, thank you.
You were able to nail the syphilis. Syphilis?
The syphilis?
You were able to nail the whole Greek myth from the last episode. Yeah, it's been good. I had a thought, actually, because you know how Lou is thinking how, the world's gone all bad and stuff? Mm-hmm. This whole episode, begins with Otto in, the 1950s doing just as dirty shit as what's going on nowadays.
Exactly.
So this episode's kind of bookended by oxymorons of, things are just as brutal in the 50s, and Lou closing the show being things used to be different.
No, that's a great point. I hadn't really connected the two before, but it seems like it's just begging to be connected. Yeah, no, that's a really great point. And I think it shows again that, I think Betsy's a really important character in that, because she's someone who doesn't, Lou is someone who's, like, very much, like, he's very feelings-based, interestingly enough. And, even when he asks Betsy after her appointment, like, oh, should I be treating you differently? And she's like, heck no. Mm-hmm. And she's the one who's very much, like, details-oriented and facts-oriented. And when he's kind of doing his thing, and where he's saying that the world used to be better, and she's like, I don't know, I don't know if it's that. I don't exactly remember what she said, but she's kind of just like, I don't know.
Oh, Emily, you want to know exactly what was said on an episode of Fargo?
Oh, I might.
Let me pull up the script.
Wow.
Just keep that microphone hot while I'm scrolling to the end here.
I will.
Let's see.
And it's stuff like this that actually makes, because I don't know, I'm always just constantly thinking of, like, who Molly takes after more, Lou or Betsy. And I think that Molly has Betsy's eye for detail, but also she does have Lou's emotions and emotional vulnerability, I think, that maybe Betsy doesn't have, or just not showing.
Yeah. I'm looking at the script here. Right now I don't know if I see anything the script I see here is Betsy says, are you expecting anyone? And he says, not really, just couldn't sleep. He says, I think you got the right pill. Yeah? Mm-hmm. You hope or you think?
Yeah.
Lou says we're just out of balance. Mm-hmm. And she asks, you and me? And he says, the whole world. I don't really see, like, a response to it, but...
I think it's more just in, like, her, like, expressions or her... Yeah. And I think that whereas he's, like, someone who's either thinking or hoping that she's got the real pill, she's, I think, much more resigned to her fate.
Oh yeah, the point you're making is completely valid. You nailed Betsy's character. It's funny though, like that pairing makes for a good marriage still. Mm-hmm. Like absolutely. So kind of experimenting with the notes here. I don't think I've taken notes the same way twice this season. Right now, I've got 9 pairs of characters that are kind of jumping off points for plot points. Uh-huh. You want to talk Dodd and Otto, since that's like chronologically first?
Sure.
Because I feel like what happened in the preview, not preview, but what happened in the flashback was that kind of got a window into maybe why Dodd is so stubborn and so attached and clingy to his throne. Because if you're a kid born and forced to do stuff like stab your father's enemies in the back, mm-hmm. and then your dad's killing people, and the entire time it's not like, Dodd, good job, it's Dodd, come on, get going. It makes me wonder. It doesn't make me exactly not exactly sympathetic, but it adds some gray to mm-hmm. the Dodd palette, kind of all throughout.
Yeah.
It's and it's hard for me not to go from that straight to, how Dodd is treating Charlie as like, it was hinted at strongly last episode, so I'm not going to take all the credit for like predicting this because it was kind of a little bit obvious, but like that whole Dodd mentoring Charlie stuff is really coming to it's ramping up right now, because this episode mm-hmm. had Charlie trying to show off how he could reload with one hand and shoot and all that stuff, and mm-hmm. Dodd's not super impressed, but I think that is going to make a difference in his opinion of him. Like, I could see Dodd taking Charlie on something dangerous.
Oh yeah.
So, and
he might even do it just to spite Bear, honestly.
Yeah. which is so filthy. It's it's funny. I overestimated Charlie's ability, because when Charlie said he could reload with one hand, I thought he was going to do some stupid, like, Matrix stuff and, like, throw a clip in the air and then catch it with the gun, if it makes any sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead he kind of just pushed the gun against his other arm. I don't know what his condition is, but I don't know.
Yeah,
he's not he's not letting it get him down in ways, which is cool, but it makes me worried.
Yeah,
I'm very worried for Charlie's future.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's a goner.
Mm-hmm. And so Dodd takes Charlie, and they go to the donut shop to ostensibly to meet Joe Bullo's people, but instead Todd assaults them with a cow prod. Mm-hmm. And this thing kind of had me laughing. So Dodd ordered a chocolate glazed, which people were going crazy about. Like,
yeah, well, that was in one of the promos.
Yeah, they're going crazy for him because he ordered like a great donut, like what might be, the top donut ever if it weren't for Boston cream. But and when Dodd asks Charlie what he wants, he says an old fashioned, and Dodd does a double take, like, in one old fashioned. Like, I feel like Charlie got more respect from Dodd for ordering an old fashioned than he did by shooting the gun. Because he was like, "Oh, this kid likes his donuts. He doesn't need them sweet. He just needs the plain donuts." I don't know. I love that a lot. That seems very. I remember it from the promo, but two guys who just commit assault, then go and order donuts. Like, that's Fargo.
No, it absolutely is.
I just know. I just remembered it wasn't just Dodd. I mean, Dodd hit the guy, but he made Charlie deliver all those knockout punches. Remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's more me that has to do the remembering here. And while we're self-contained, doing a little bit of Gerhardt focus here, the third pairing I have here is Simone Gerhardt and Mike Milligan.
Yes.
Which is a pairing I like, though it makes me worried because Joe Bullo is, he's talking about wiping every Gerhardt off the face of the earth, not just the Gerhardts he dislikes. He's talking about killing all the Gerhardts, So I hope Simone is safe. But she's also hanging out with Mike Milligan, who's just, he and the Kitchen Brothers have kind of shown they're willing to point guns at anybody. So I don't know. But I really liked that whole interaction. The post-coital chatter of Mike and Simone was really good. And Simone having that wanting for the 60s feels very appropriate. It seems like, I mean, how many generations felt like they were born a generation too late? Like, almost all of them, I bet. Like, though I don't particularly wish that I was born in the 80s or anything like that. Might have gotten some cool video games, but like, she, she's talking about, like, oh, I could have been Flower, Star Child, or whatever, and Mike Milligan delivers the great, I kind of thinking, showing that he's more like the philosopher type, like, the 70s or the hangover that was just waiting to happen.
Yes.
Which sounds like something out of CNN's 70s promo. But we've seen how Mike is very much, he said before in the typewriter shop how those countries go into shit. I wonder what his whole deal is, like his honest, not not shtick self, or are we seeing that with Simone, or is he just being nice to Simone so that he can find out where Otto is and, you know, do what he did? I guess what I'm, you know, is this relationship between Mike and Simone, you know, are they both doing this because they're getting something out of it? Like,
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I am interested though, like, because I never would have thought that Simone would have become like a fairly major character in this show. So I think it's interesting that she's getting more and more to do every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess a summation of, like, if I was going to purify these thoughts into a question, is Simone going to be upset? This, you know, is she going to be upset the next episode when she finds out that Mike and the Kitchen Brothers killed the people taking care of her grandfather?
I don't know. I don't know that she really feels any sort of allegiance to her family. I guess we'll see.
Okay, yeah. Because she definitely does not give a shit if they kill Dodd.
Yeah.
If they killed Floyd, that would be a big deal.
Yeah.
Because she's operating under the assumption that Floyd's going to bargain.
Yes.
But just as, you know, Floyd doesn't know, Simone doesn't know that Todd's gone and fucking beat up these guys. Which is just it's so... I mean, it's premeditated, but it's such a bad impulse. It's such a bad plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to beat up these guys, really for no reason. Just to lay claim to your father's dynasty.
Yeah.
Which won't be around. I don't think. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure shit's going to go down this week. I saw some people on Reddit thinking that the entire Sioux Falls massacre was going to go down this week, but I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, whatever fight happens between the Gerhardts and the Kansas City people, I don't see how it's going to take place in Sioux Falls. You know.
Yeah, although, I mean, we obviously know something happens in Sioux Falls.
We know something happens but, like, I'm thinking, you know, does a turf war constitute, does a turf war really constitute a massacre? Because, like we might have talked about this last week, like, when Lou is talking to Malvo in Lou's coffee shop, and he's like, you know, what happened then? He's describing something that is sociopathic, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe because we know that Peggy's going to Sioux Falls for this conference thing.
Yeah.
This seminar. Like, I don't know. Maybe something happens there.
So there was a prediction that I kind of liked. I don't know if I like the implications. They were saying, like, it seems they said it seems very Coen Brothers-ish for a turf war to escalate from Fargo, travel south, and then, like, have this gunfight that then goes in, like I don't know, like Joe Bullo's running away with a gun, and he escapes into this conference hall.
Yeah.
And then the Gerhardts follow pursuit and just open fire or something.
I mean, I feel like Peggy and Todd, not Todd, Ed, Ed, I don't think things are going to end well for them, because, again, something that reminded me of No Country for Old Men was when Lou sits down with Ed and Peggy and tells them, like, you can tell me everything that just happened, and because otherwise this is not going to end well for you. And that exact similar scene happens in No Country for Old Men when the sheriff sits down with this character Carla Jean, because basically the premise of No Country for Old Men is that a guy,
someone finds some money.
Yeah, he finds a case of money in the desert It's like a drug deal gone wrong. And so basically, then Javier Bardem's character, Anton Chigurh, who's kind of like a Malvo character, is just hunting for this case of money. And the sheriff sits down with Llewellyn's wife, the guy who got the money, his wife, and he sits down with her and he says, please tell me what you know. Tell me what happened so that I can help you, or, you're going to die, basically. And she doesn't say it. She keeps her mouth shut, and she does die. She gets killed in the end by Anton Chigurh. And, that reminded me so much of Lou's talk with Ed and Peggy, just his disappointment that, how stupid can you be? Because this is it. This is your last chance.
Yeah. It's not that I look forward to it, but because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of good people. They've crossed some lines, of course. But I hope Hansi doesn't. If they have to die, I hope it's not this long, drawn out. What happened to Glenn Howerton in
I don't
season 1.
think it will be, because, I don't know. So in No Country for Old Men, Carla Jean dies off camera. It's just we know that she died because there's blood on someone's shoes, and it's very discreet in the way that she dies. And I think that I think that they might mirror that discretion if they do die like that.
See, Hansi cut off a guy's ears earlier in this season.
Yeah, but we also didn't see it.
That,
yeah.
But, we know that he can be brutal.
Yeah. I think we have seen a lot of really brutal stuff already. Like the meat grinder, which didn't affect me in the way that it affected some people, which I don't know what that says about me.
I think the thing that is gross about the meat grinder is it's the implications, because you don't. When all you see is the ground meat coming out of the end,
mm-hmm.
and there's no trace of the human left in it,
mm-hmm.
that is the disturbing part.
Yeah.
It's this idea that you could do that, and did you catch though in this episode, whoever owns the butcher shop.
Mm-hmm.
Said something to the lines.
Oh, did you clean the meat grinder?
Yeah,
it's been a bit funny. Yeah,
there's something stuck in there.
Yeah,
no.
ew.
So yeah, I don't know. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking here since we brought up Hansi. This is a triplet of people that we can talk about, which is Hansi and the aliens and Carl Weathers and Sonny. I'll first say I was super excited to see Carl Weathers back in the show.
Yes.
And the role he played in saving Sonny's ass was mm-hmm. good too. So what happened was Hansi arrives in Laverne. He goes straight to the Waffle Hut. He takes a look inside during this great, the split screen use again, where I don't know. I don't know what made the directors of the season stick with it. What made them go, what we're gonna do this year is split the screen in half and show some scenes like that. But it looks real good.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
I think that. Oh no, I was gonna say I think a lot of the season has been functioning in pairs. Although I guess last season was too, but maybe this one more so than the other one, because you have as you're putting. Even you're outlining for this, episode of our podcast, these pairs of people who are being put together in all these situations, and I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I could go through and try to remember all the evidence Hansi found, but none of it's really as important as the fact that when Hansi is outside and he finds the piece of the car mirror in the snow, and then he looks up and sees a bright light, then he immediately goes down to check his watch, and 2 hours or 3 hours, I think it was 3 hours passed since the time of the clock inside the Waffle Hut.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell happened? Because
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, not that there needs to be an answer, but and I guess I would almost prefer not hearing an answer rather than being told, like, given an X-Files fucking answer where it's just the government, it was testing something and they did it in Laverne because it was a quiet town, because that answer is totally bullshit to me.
Yeah, honestly, I would say I don't think that we're going to get an answer, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. But isn't it at least at the very, like, Hansi knows. He knows something, or he understands something.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah. And I don't know if it's sympathy points, but when Hansi is talking about how he was treated in Vietnam,
yeah,
there's something to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested by how, large Vietnam looms over this season of the show. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, well, right now, actually, now there's kind of 3 wars that really come into play here, because, as I understand it, Carl is a Korean War vet.
Yes. And Hank is a World War II vet.
And the eldest Gerhardt's son was lost in Korea.
Yes.
Which we've never seen him, but that might also have an effect on Dodd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because Dodd is in the intro. The Korean War is happening, and Dodd's brother is in that war. So that's likely, him taking on responsibilities far above his age because his brother is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's Fargo is good, Emily. I don't know. Did you catch that?
Yeah, some people have told me that it's good.
Yeah, some people are talking about it on the internet. Not as many as they're talking about True Detective, and that's a shame because
yeah,
the Fargo chats are about half or a quarter of the size of, like, the True Detective things. And just because something is on HBO, it doesn't mean it should get all of our attention, because HBO can produce crap. So,
yeah. Actually, I would say the only, like, HBO shows I've been disappointed by, I haven't watched, like, a ton, but, like, the ones that really disappointed me were season 2 of True Detective and season 5 of Game of Thrones, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But up until then, they had a really good track record, in my mind at least.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's see. Lou and Betsy is a, God damn it. The first thing that came to my mind was a tough pill to swallow. But I didn't mean to do that, but then my brain was like, you can't use that. This was an upsetting Lou and Betsy episode. Like, no doubt about it. This was just a punch in the gut.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, to anyone who's probably had a relative lost to cancer, this whole episode probably felt a little bit like too close to home. Because, like, even if, like, this Xanadu pill she's being offered is, like, and people have identified what the pill actually is in real life.
Oh, really? What is it?
I forget. I mean, I don't know, but it was like a real thing that was tested in the 70s. And obviously it doesn't work because we don't have a cancer pill nowadays.
Right.
But that shot in the dark, and also that sense of being told that everything's going to be okay and then finding out that it isn't. Like, I don't know, for me that hit home in a way that's like, God damn it, Fargo. Like, and the way Betsy handled it is just like, the only way that you can, unless you're going to be a mess or let it ruin your life, is you got to, like, I'm going to take the pill. I'm going to keep living. Please don't treat me differently. It's awesome, but, like, my heart goes out for Lou so much. And
I know.
By extension, Molly, though, we're not really seeing Molly.
Yeah, it's hard because, I mean, I feel like Lou and Betsy are, like, one of the most realistic and just loving couples on TV that I've ever really seen, and it's just doomed.
Yeah, we know at the core of it there's there's something happening. I would honestly, trying to think, because I don't, we don't know how she goes. But if it's between violence and cancer, I hope it's the cancer rather than...
Yeah. That's why I see, like, people are saying that, like, they also think that, Hank is gonna die this season, but I kind of don't think so, because I feel like that's really, really dark for... And, like, I can't imagine Lou losing his father-in-law and his wife in a very short period of time, like... Although I guess we don't know that Betsy's going to die this season.
We don't. That's the other thing that I'm keeping on the table, is, like... She doesn't need to die this season. But she can still die from the cancer. I'm not saying she has to beat cancer this season, but, like...
You know, I actually wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it was just me being optimistic, but I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't die.
But I also...
Season, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if this season also went less optimistic.
Yeah.
As long as Lou stays intact, because we know Molly's okay.
Well, obviously Lou has to live.
I know,
you know?
but I mean, as long as Lou's personality, because if this season ends with, you know, and like Betsy's dead and Lou has seen some shit, but Hank, Lou, and Molly can like sit by the fire, or if all four of them are alive,
yeah.
And they're watching, like, Reagan get sworn in. I can deal with that. I can live with that as being my season.
Part of me thinks that maybe, I mean, I don't know if they're going to go full circle, but I could see it ending with Lou reading to Molly, like it began.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I have Ed and Peggy, but we kind of ran the bases around them. They're screwed.
Yeah.
Lou, because Hansy found Ed's car, broke into Ed's house, grabbed the belt buckle, and since you know Carl called the cops, or he called for Lou specifically, Lou saw the state of Ed's car and immediately put everything together.
Yeah.
And when he did, like, I don't know, my jaw kind of dropped, because when he was like, oh, the kind of damage you get from running over a Gerhardt, I'm like, oh my god, wait, you're not going to spend a whole episode just bumbling around like you...
Yeah, no, they don't waste time on this.
Yeah.
In Fargo, they do not waste time, which I appreciate.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's not like, you know, Betsy came up with a theory, and it wasn't like it just went off into the ether, and Hank and Lou dismissed it. They fucking listened, and yeah. And then Ed and Peggy just lock out Lou from their life. They ask him to leave, and it's
like, okay,
it's a complete mess. Now, does that happen? That happens after the debacle with the money, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The money thing starts the episode, I think, or close to it.
Yeah. I understand that people are having strong anti-Peggy reactions for withdrawing the money and for this thing, and for taking birth control and not telling her husband. But some of the language on Reddit is getting me bummed out.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, oh, Peggy, you know, C word, I can't wait to see her die. And it's like, all right, guys, let's, you know. and also, like, oh, Ed doesn't have any balls. He really needs to get out of this relationship, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, all right, look, sometimes, and maybe during especially this time period when people just got married. Shit's like, have you guys seen Revolutionary Road? Sometimes things aren't meant to be. So, like, it's making a lot of people, like, angry, and maybe angry at both these people, but I feel like, isn't that kind of the point? Like, this is just your kind of run-of-the-mill, broken, like, 70s, like, all that. Two people from a small town got married, and why? Why did they get married?
Right, and they can't admit that they're broken. Because, I mean, again, Ed doesn't see anything wrong with the relationship.
Yeah, and like, Peggy is not invalid. Like her boss, Constance, like doesn't make a bad point in that what she withdrew was probably equivalent of her money, but like it doesn't change the fact that, you know, because in her mind, you know, Lou talked at her, not with her. But that's with Ed. Yeah, but that's a concept. That's a concept that's kind of above Ed's head.
Yeah.
And you know, times have changed, and sometimes I think it's hard to watch that, and I feel like sometimes it's hard to watch a period thing and adjust for like what are the show writers trying to say. Because it's the era that makes things sympathetic. It's probably, you know, it's part of what at first was kind of hard to swallow with Mad Men, even though I didn't see it through and I stopped like 5 episodes in. It's the type of thing that I started to appreciate about the show, was that it had things to say about the time period. Yeah. Gosh, I have a lot of things. I feel like Ed hurting Peggy is not going to happen, right?
I don't think so. I can't imagine. Okay. That'd be really dark.
I feel like it would be. I guess in my head I just have like this idea that a Lester v. Pearl thing is always around the corner in the show.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know if Ed is that type of person. Because Ed acted out of self-defense when he killed Rye. I don't know if he could just kill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the series would go for, because you figure it happens. Well, the movie happens with Jerry kidnapping his wife, or arranging for her to be kidnapped, and then season 2 obviously has Lester and Pearl. I don't know if they would go for it in season 2.
Yeah, I guess the thing here is the birth control, like a Chekhov's gun type thing, where you don't show us that she's taking birth control without eventually Ed finding out and there being some kind of consequences or something, or you know, or are they gonna die in 2 hours when the episode airs?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. We've gotten through so much of this, but I still have 3 more pairings I'd like to make.
Okay.
Joe Bulo and the Gerhardts.
Yes.
I thought Floyd, in negotiating, she did a really good job talking to Joe.
That was a great scene.
She did a really good, like, yo, I've seen a lot of death. I've given a lot of birth. You have no idea who you're dealing with. You know, and that's why we're going to sell, you know, 50%. We're going to do this. We're going to maintain, but we're going to pay you, blah, blah, blah. We're giving you this territory, but the Gerhardts still rule in Fargo. And then she had the carpet kind of pulled out from under her because of what Dodd did in the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And Joe uses that to his advantage, just saying, like, and what he says is great. And it's the type of thing that is a perfect thing to do in a crime show or movie, for that matter, which is like, look, you run a family business, you're getting family business results. Like, if one of my guys disrespected me or didn't listen to me, like, I'll take his I'll take his ears, I'll take his time, you know. But your son went out of line and beat up these 2 guys, and now the buyout price is smaller, you know. And it's just, you know, he makes a point. It's like, what are you willing to do to keep your family in line? And part of me wondered, but ultimately, like, Floyd's not going to pull a how would you say? She's not going to Frito Dodd.
Yeah.
She's not going to hurt her son, no matter how much the son hurts the business. So, you know, when she's cuddling with a blood splattered Otto at the end of the episode, she she makes that decision to go to war because she can't really do anything else for her sons. Like if they take the buyout, there's no guarantee Dodd listens.
Yeah.
And then Dodd is super dead. So I don't know. Did Dodd putting his head on Floyd's shoulder weird you out or make you feel bad for Dodd, or neither?
I didn't think it was weird. Wait, what do you... Oh, no, I thought it was nice. I mean, I thought it was like, nice is not the right word, but it just shows that, she understands, and, even though they're arguing, I think she acknowledges that he's her son, and, they have to be together on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean,
yeah, he screwed up, but, we gotta move on now.
That's what I mean. When he did that, I kind of saw the Dodd in the 1950s, where it's like,
yeah,
he's beating up people and and slapping his daughter and stuff like that, but he is in some ways just this kid who acted out, and he got caught like knocking over a vase, and now he's like crying on his mom's shoulder, and it's like,
yeah,
that's what I mean by weird. Like, it's not weird to be sad and want forgiveness from your mother.
Absolutely.
What's weird is seeing Dodd's vulnerable side.
Yeah.
Because was it last week, 2 weeks ago, when I'm like, Dodd is super dead, Dodd's gonna get his comeuppance, and he might still get that, because he wasn't very friendly to Lou. He might still deserve that.
Yeah.
Damn it. This show is making things complicated for me. I don't know if any character is Lauren Malvo levels of I hate you, and want to see you dead. Because I don't even really think Joe Bulo is very villainous. Do you?
No, he's just an oppositional force
to people who I don't even really consider protagonists by any stretch.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm kind of neutral, but seeing how things are run in season 1 lead me to believe that Kansas wins. But
yeah,
I don't know how. So
I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. So the last pair of characters I have is Lou and his shotgun.
Yes.
I didn't think that was going to happen so early.
Me either. And it was not how I pictured it happening.
Right, because I think the way the way we imagine it is kind of the way it happens in season 1, where it's towards the end. There's this looming threat, like Malvo might show up at the house. And this one, he doesn't really know who to expect, because it could be Hansi, it could be it could be a Gerhardt, it could be the Kitchen Brothers and Mike. At this point, he just knows. He knows there's danger, and he's never going to be sure where it comes from, because this case is so messed up.
Right. Although what we do know is that what he says in season 1 is that he's done this. He's done it before, where he sat up all night protecting his family with a shotgun, and they didn't come that night, but they came soon after, he says.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Emily. No.
Yeah, I know.
What's going to happen in 2 hours?
I mean, nothing can, okay, yeah, right? Literally 2 hours. I don't think anything, that bad could happen, because, we know that Molly's alive. And we know that Lou is still alive. Although maybe that's when Lou gets shot.
Lou could totally get shot. He doesn't need to be an action player for the next
Well, we know he's going to get shot because he says he gets shot in the head.
Yeah, but he could get shot in episode 5. He doesn't need to be an action hero in the next 5 episodes. In the last 5 episodes. I mean.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what's gonna happen. Scared.
Yeah. God damn it. Honestly, no. Like if they played some clips from season 1 during the preview for next week, it would ramp up my you know what? Tell me if this would have made things better or worse for you. I guess it doesn't fit the narrative of Fargo. But what if Lou from season 1 was like narrating occasionally, or we just heard like a clip or something? I don't know. It doesn't really fit the Fargo theme. Is like, this is a true story. It happened in this year. Blah blah. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. No.
Somewhere down the line, when this is all done, someone's going to cut together a trailer.
Yeah, they are.
What's going to happen is someone's going to take Lou talking to Malvo, and it's going to cut to season 2 footage as Lou is talking in season 1.
Make this happen, internet.
Well, the only people who are going to make it happen are like the 100-something people that, between watching the show on YouTube and downloading the show on iTunes. So it's up to one of you to cut this together once the season's over. And I'm going to give you like, because I like this idea so much, I'm going to give you like a week after the season finale, and then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to try to get the upvotes.
Yay!
Yeah, you know what? While we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to have an hour and 30 minutes basically to
56.
Yeah, try to cut this because putting it on iTunes, that won't take too long.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that video in fucking 1080 whatever and putting it on YouTube, that takes a long time.
Oh.
My laptop is not a powerhouse PC that puts video out very fast. So, but that's okay. It's totally all right.
It's gonna be okay.
Before we go, I haven't done like a numbers update in a while.
Okay.
So I was looking because it's not fair to say Hungary's slipping because there's like 3 Hungarians. So they're repping still. But our top 10 countries are the U.S. with 61%.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ireland.
Okay.
Then Canada. Then the United Kingdom, which makes sense. Then Germany.
Okay.
Then Austria.
Okay.
Then Hungary in 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Then New Zealand. Then the United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
And then Sweden.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're from those countries, send some email at cbrigadepodcast@gmail.com.
Talk to us.
Yeah, let us know. If you're in Germany, if you're in Austria, if you're in the United Arab Emirates, let us know what you're doing. How did you find the Sea Brigade podcast? How are you watching Fargo? Are you watching Fargo the same way we watched Broadchurch? So, send some mail. Leave a comment on YouTube. That's a totally easy way to get in contact with us.
Yes, and we are so starved for attention that we will like make a big deal about you.
Yeah. Madison Badgers, go Badgers!
No, go Bucks!
We will throw you right there at the beginning. I'll try